What is up, you awesome kisters? It's CistReactZ, guys. Today we are reacting to Game Theory FNAF Help Wanted 2 Proves Us Right. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the Game Theorists, and comment down below. Let's get into this bop.
Come get your candy here, candy. Now I will tell you a story.
Alright, just trying to make sure my audio is good.
There once was a boy covered in scars.
Are these the stories from the Help Wanted 2 game?
He refused to look in a mirror. This lasted for so long. He eventually forgot they were ever there. Years passed until one day, this boy would come to the edge of a dark forest. There he saw a rabbit. He followed the rabbit as it scampered through the woods. They went over logs and around trees until he was eventually led to a beautiful flower. The scar-faced boy, now a grown man, plucked the flower to give to his daughter, but upon touching it, she died, for the flower was poisonous.
Oh, wow.
And the man returns to the forest to play.
Is this after the story?
Hello, Internet.
I don't know
Welcome to Game
Matt Pat
Theory,
wrote that for
the show
intro.
That encourages you to be mask off. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to conclude the year of FNAF. With Tales from the Pizzaplex books releasing every 2 months, the Ruin DLC released back in July, and the FNAF movie happening in October, 2023 really did feel like the classic days of FNAF all over again, where there was a new release happening every few months. And to end the year of FNAF on an insanely high note, Steelwall decided to pull one final trick out of the Scott playbook. They released a second game within 6 months of Ruin. Completely unexpected, but
dang, it's been 6 months of Ruin?
FNAF VR
has not felt like that.
Let me tell you, they couldn't have released a more perfect game at a more perfect time. Because at a moment of peak frustration with the fanbase, when Foxy, Stans, and Bonnie Bros had all collectively thrown up their hands in desperation, this game swooped in to deliver the answers that they so desperately needed. If the narrative of FNAF is kind of like a cracked piece of pavement constantly on the verge of crumbling into dust, this game was the cement filling in the crevices, patching up all the holes in the narrative just enough to give the whole thing a solid
I still don't know the lore that Help Wanted 2 wanted us to see, honestly.
And I really
I didn't get it.
That.
I didn't get most of it.
FNAF 6 has there been a Freddy's game so determined to tie up loose ends and deliver answers to the lingering questions that have been piling up in the background. Basically, Help Wanted 2 single-handedly put a close on one major story arc, while also
one major story arc?
Another, a next generation. It's an ending and a beginning, all in one, depicting a cycle of violence that shows that you're never truly out of the woods when you're in the world of FNAF. In short, it's probably the single most important game release in the last 6 years for this franchise. So today, we're gonna solve this game together to see what it's trying to tell us and where it's pointing the series moving forward.
Let's see what Matt Pat makes of it.
Grab your wrenches and get ready to step into madness, theorists. Today, finally, we're gonna see what lies behind the mask.
Was that a reference?
The game opens, we're welcomed in as a new employee of the pizzeria.
Fazbear Entertainment is offering a new on-the-job training position for a future pizza professional.
I can't believe this man did all that to be turned into a staff robot.
World full of training minigames.
It's crazy.
Opie cheers us forward from his little projector in the corner. But very quickly, one question starts to rear its ugly head.
Which, by the way, make sure y'all watch my Help Wanted 2 Let's Play. I was terrified most of the time. I would love to see that if you missed it.
Who are we? Who are we playing as? Throughout the various mini-missions that we're presented with, one line that we hear repeated over and over
attacks
again
every
is,
episode.
What makes you so special? 3 separate characters all bring it up. Moon,
what makes
Baby,
you so special?
Mystic Hippo.
What makes you so special?
What makes you so special?
What makes you so special?
Considering everyone keeps asking us, we should probably have ourselves an answer ready for him, right? Well, we get a solid idea of who we might be thanks to plenty of explicit clues that are sprinkled throughout the game. First and foremost, we know that we're a Faz technician. Midway through the game, you unlock a Faz wrench.
Unfortunately, we're a Faz technician.
Back area of the pizzeria. In that back room, there's a glowing tower that should look familiar to anyone who played through the Ruin DLC earlier.
I can't believe I forgot what that was.
Back in that game, these devices stopped you from being able to remove your AR-enabled Vanny mask.
Probably because I only played Ruin once.
Why would that matter here? It's not like we're wearing a mask. Or are we? Sure enough, deactivating the tower allows you to reach up and remove the AR mask that's been stuck to your face since you first booted up the game. Suddenly, you see that this entire time you've been inside of a derelict pizzeria, worn down, decayed. And this isn't just any Ruin pizzeria, it's the FNAF 6 location, complete with a recharge station and a Freddy spaghetti hole front and center.
Freddy spaghetti hole is crazy.
A fantastic mid-game twist that completely recontextualizes summarizes everything that you
We need more VR games to break the fourth wall like that. He's right.
Who we are and why we're down here. You see, us having a Vanny mask, it's weird, right? Like, who are we? Why would we have something like this in our possession? Well, it has to do with our job. In Ruin, Helpy tells us that these AR masks were born to help technicians navigate through the destroyed Pizzaplex. Now, when I first saw that in the game, I was convinced that it was a trick just to get us to wear the mask and teach us the mechanics of this new game. But here we are in Help Wanted 2 in a destroyed Pizzaplex wearing a Vanny mask. And right there on the wall is a poster telling staff members to make sure they remove the mask at the end of the day. It proves that what Helpy was saying, at least in this moment, wasn't a trick. The mask is in fact a real tool that's used by Fazbear technicians, for as strange of a concept as that is. So, we're a technician for the restaurant, sure, but that's not the only thing we know.
I was thinking something completely different. Never mind, that was stupid.
Midway through the game, you unlock this tool which allows you access to the back area of the pizzeria. Upon unlocking it, the Mystic Hippo Carney booth says that the key is familiar to us.
Look at Mr. Gumball!
It's familiar to you.
So we know that we're someone who's used this tool in the past. Immediately, that should bring to mind one person, Cassie's dad. Earlier this year in the Security Breach Ruin DLC, we were introduced to a young girl named Cassie, who goes on a mission to rescue
she came out of nowhere
from the destroyed remains of the derelict Pizzaplex. Along the way, she too obtains a Faz wrench and says this.
A Faz wrench? It's just like my dad's.
It's a pretty explicit connection there.
Yeah, just like your dad who disappeared and got turned into a robot.
We repeatedly hear the Carney say this.
Now, you look like you got kids. Win a prize for the little one.
So, we're a Faz tech who also happens to be a parent. Cassie's dad is literally the only character we know who truly fits the bill. But so what? What's the big deal if we're playing as Cassie's dad? It's not all that interesting. And you heard what Moon said.
What makes you so special?
We're special in some way. And let me just make
this
perfectly
super special.
clear.
Happy special.
Okay, they have very important roles.
Oh, here comes Matt.
Lives. That's something that makes him
no
very
dad is as special as the FNAF Fazbear technician, though.
We're talking about FNAF. The joys of parental
the robots really want to
not what these
remind him that he's
characters
so
are referring
special.
to. In a theory that I posted a couple months ago, I proposed that Cassie's dad wasn't just any technician. Instead, he was none other than the Bonnie Bro from FNAF 4. You know,
Bonnie
the kid
Bro
that wears the Bonnie mask who helps Michael torture his crying brother to death. We know from Ruin's item descriptions that Cassie's dad's favorite character was Bonnie. In that game, we were also able to collect both an old-school Foxy and Bonnie mask, which was an odd detail when you consider that there were no other OG animatronic masks present like Freddy or Chica. That seemed to be referencing the masks that both Michael Afton and Bonnie Bro were wearing on that fateful day in 1983.
But the holes look different.
Those details, coupled with a few other things, led us to the whole Bonnie Bro conclusion. But now that the full game's out, it certainly seems definitive that our theory was right. You see, towards the end of Help Wanted 2,
imagine killing a kid at Fazbear's, then working for Fazbear's one day.
Very familiar missing children. Light them in a specific order, and you unlock a secret chest. A chest that contains none other than that old Bonnie mask. When you collect it, we see the text.
Now that looks familiar.
This looks familiar. It also unlocks an achievement called Lost.
See, I've seen this ending already, but like, I didn't say this looks familiar because that's just crazy. Never mind. I'm not going to explain
this right here, this was our mask. It was one that we thought was lost to time.
I didn't say that looks familiar when I first seen it, but now I seen it when Matt Pat. Or say it when Matt Pat explained it.
To find the game's secret ending, we have to unlock 6 creepy voodoo doll plushies, each one hidden behind very explicit in-game actions. In one, you go to Sister Location's private room and type in a very specific date. I bet you can guess what it is. 1983. And that year just keeps coming up. Multiple minigames take place during Fall Fest, which in the previous VR game
I thought the FNAF 4 kids monitor would show up.
In 1983. That is why we're considered special, because we were part of that fateful day. Because by killing the crying child, we sent William on a murderous rampage. It's a memory that we, as Bonnie Bro, have tried to repress. And that's not just me speculating. We know that Bonnie Bro has been actively trying to avoid these memories based on Mystic Hippo asking us this.
Do you remember?
It's also why when we collect one of the first secret voodoo plushies, we get a trophy.
Bro felt bad, so he worked for Fazbear's.
Retrieve a memory. Basically, by playing this game and getting these secret objects, we're forcing ourselves to confront memories that we've buried deep in our psyche. We're coming to terms with the trauma of our past. We're accepting it as something that happened that cannot be changed, only atoned for. Which then brings us to the game's endings. If you play through the game normally just by
what are these
the
endings, bro?
games help he tasks you with, you eventually unlock the 6 members of the Phaz Force, the FNAF universe version of the Transformers, because let's face it, at this point, FNAF has literally parodied every IP known to mankind. Once you complete the collection, the lights flicker, and suddenly a charging station appears, which opens up
Scott is crazy with the references.
Dear friend Glitch Trap. Another flash, suddenly the nightmare staff bots appear, attacking you. Glitch Trap has won. He's tricked us. He's used Cassie's dad's love of collectibles against him. Much like the tapes in Help Wanted 1, these action figures contained parts of him, his memories, his essence. By gathering them all together, we've once again made Glitch Trap whole. With Princess Quest being the canon ending in Security Breach, it means that Glitch Trap lost his hold over Vanessa. He needed himself a new helper, so he lured us in, the last human employee remaining, and got us to put the pieces back together to reawaken him. The cycle.
See, I thought Glitch Trap was gone, but I was wrong.
Station. Just like during the Burn Trap ending, he has enough strength to reawaken, to take control, and it's only then that the staff bots show up to kill us. But things aren't quite done yet. After our death, we change perspective into the eyes of a staff bot. And not just any staff bot, specifically, we're looking through the eyes of the one who tells Cassie to take a mask at the beginning of Security Breach Ruin.
Take a mask. Take a mask.
It would seem like we've been absorbed into the system. Our consciousness is now part of this map bot. We're trapped inside of it, forced to execute its commands. In the ultimate of ironies, the mask that we were using to try and stop Glitch Trap becomes the mask that we now give our daughter as map bots. This is then what results in
that would be a crazy
implant. This is how
set of events
gets into her mind, and this is eventually
true.
how the mimic gets free. To me, the way that you get this ending, it's highly symbolic. By not accepting our past, by ignoring and repressing the scars of our past actions, by not unlocking all those memory plushies, we've passed our mistakes forward, and in the process, we managed to doom our own daughter. Bonnie Bro didn't just ruin the life of one child, he wound up ruining 2. Our actions have, in short, single-handedly prompted the events of ruin. But hold on.
Bunnies are always just a bad omen in this series, bro.
We're attacked by a bunch of corrupted staff bots, and then suddenly we're in MapBot? How? It's kind of a big leap there, you know? Well,
and they look like the puppet.
That we were just scanned into the system. The Mimic AI scanned our brains while we were wearing the Vanny mask, and boom, we're now stuck as part of the AI program running the whole Pizzaplex. But looking closer at the details, I think there's actually another explanation.
Is he about to mention how they look like the puppets?
Bot through the Vanny mask in Ruin, it looks different from all the other staff bots that you encounter in the game. It looks more organic. You can actually see what appears to be a brain stuffed inside of its head. Compare that to how every other staff bot looks under that same AR lens, and it's completely different. Why would that be, though? Well, it would appear as though our brain, or at the very least our organic matter, was stuffed inside of these robotic suits.
So they doing stuffings again?
This particular bot. But again, I ask, why? This seems to be such a random detail. Until you remember what a computer brain would be learning from studying Afton's behavior. Afton stuffs his victims into animatronic suits. That's what he did during the missing children's incident. It's what we see Glitch Trap doing at the end of Help Wanted 1, and apparently it's what he did to Bonnie Bro. He stuffed him into MapBot here. For a while, there's been a lot of confusion about the true nature of Glitch Trap. Is it a virus? Is it Afton in the Mimic AI? Was Burn Trap the Mimic? It's largely been left unclear. But now I actually think this ending is trying to give us an answer. In the books, they make it explicitly clear that there are at least 2 mimics threatening the Pizzaplex. First,
2 mimics.
There's a physical mimic that's buried down in the basement that physically walks around and is able to kill people.
Not another one, bro.
There's the second version, a more general AI program that's eventually able to get installed to run the
storyteller thing or whatever,
and is able to control and corrupt all the animatronics that work there. Is this confusing? Yeah. Is it frustrating? Most definitely. But I also
as everything is in the FNAF lore when you try to make sense of shit.
Remember how an AI works? You train it by feeding it situational data, and the data that goes in directly influences how it's going to behave moving forward. There's even an example of this with the Endo Daycare minigame in Help Wanted 2. You're teaching an AI program how to behave. Good data going in gives you good behavior.
That was the scariest minigame.
Bad data going in gives you chaotic behavior. In the books, we see the basement AI being trained up with a simple code. Rip off all the arms and legs of things that look humanoid. And it does this over and over again in epilogue after epilogue to each and every one of our teenage protagonists. The data that the basement AI was trained up on was simple and it was non-specific, but like a good program, it did exactly what it was told. Ripped off all those limbs. Now compare that to the Pizzaplex AI. This was trained using a lot more data. It was told to copy the behavior of actual humans, and so it learned coded languages. It learned a wider series of gestures and behaviors. It learned how to play games and hang up clothing. It was far more sophisticated. So by having 2 different versions of the Mimic in the books, books, what we're really seeing are different ways that an AI can be trained up and how the behavior spins off of that. So how's that all apply to the games? Well, in Ruin, there's a key moment on the catwalks of
Man versus Machine.
that show two entities working together,
So Van versus Man this time.
as they're able to argue against each other. Helpy says, "I took care of the situation," to which the Mimic responds, they're cut from the same cloth. They both started as the Mimic program, but they've evolved in different ways. And based on all of that, I suspect that the Mimic Cassie runs from at the end of Ruin is a parallel for the book's basement AI, a simpler, older system that uses Gregory's voice to talk to us throughout Ruin. This one just exists and executes two simple goals: kill things and escape from the basement. But then there's the Pizzaplex AI. I suspect that this is the more sophisticated system. This is the one that's been trained up on Afton's data specifically. It's the one that embodies itself as Glitchtrap, and it's also the one that speaks to us in the form of Helpy. And we know this to be true because of what we see throughout Help Wanted 2. In this one game, the AI is drawing from pretty much every past animatronic, including characters like Scrap Baby and Lefty, which are odd pulls considering they're characters that were never put on display for the public. These were characters that only existed for the fake pizzeria made to entrap Afton in FNAF 6. So the fact that the system here knows about them means that they had to have come from Afton's mind. It's also why in the Helpy Hospital minigames we see a drawing of a burning pizza restaurant with Helpy running away. That's how Afton was able to escape and live on. His consciousness was contained within the Helpy AI, which was able to survive the FNAF 6 fire. And remind me again, who is the one that encourages us to play these minigames throughout Help Wanted 2? The minigames that lead to the collection of the Faz Force toys, which ultimately
the Helpy projector thing?
Ending. Oh yeah, it's Helpy. And not just any Helpy either. Helpy spelled with an I. That spelling detail actually matters. You see, the name of the physical animatronic Helpy, it's spelled H-E-L-P-Y. But in Ruin, that digital neural implant Helpy is spelled H-E-L-P-I.
The fuck?
You know it, in the game files for
Have I not noticed that?
The Helpy on the projector screen is once again spelled with an I. This is Glitchtrap, the Mimic program trained up on Afton's data. He's yet again trying to put the pieces back together, and by completing his tasks and unlocking the Faz Force, you help him to succeed. He's now back in full control of the Pizzaplex, ready for Ruin, ready to create a new servant
ready for round 2
to finish what Vanessa started. But if I've learned anything from Steel Wool, it's that you can't always trust the first ending you see. Remember that creepy plushie that we unlocked earlier? Well, there are 6 of them in total, each one unlocked via a seemingly random series of actions. Put a code into the whack-a-mole game backwards. Make a weird soda mixture only during a complete electrical shutdown of the factory. Shoot a random rocket ship during various Fazer Blast minigames until you get to FNAF 2, at which point you pop balloon recreations of the animatronics to unlock a final boss battle.
I didn't see the mango balloon.
Spring Trap. Like I said, these get bizarre and they get convoluted in a hurry. But the main thing you need to know about them is that by collecting them, you unlock a glitched coin that allows you to play the 4th and final version of Princess Quest's arcade cabinet. At first, it plays just like your normal Princess Quest minigame. You swing your sword, you kill the glitchy bunnies, you collect the keys. Simple. At least until it's not. You open a door and you suddenly find yourself standing next to someone playing an arcade cabinet.
Is that
Next
you?
thing you know, the princess is standing there in the room with
What the fuck?
Are you kidding me? Oh, this is nuts.
Nah, they got
the real world and the digital world.
I gotta say, Steel Wool is crazy with the fourth wall breaks in VR games. VR games might be their true calling, bro. Like that was intelligent. I hadn't even seen that before in the game.
Are leaking into each other. Reach into the screen, grab your sword, and
that's some fourth wall shit. That's good.
Now. Glowing sword in hand, we fight our way through the glitching bunnies until we meet the old Red King. We give him our Vanny mask, and in return, he gives us the Glitchtrap plushie from Help Wanted 1.
It's a fair trade.
This is where things go really off the rails. Out of nowhere, the sister location elevator appears. Hop in, and suddenly it takes us inside of a giant claw machine with a giant Vanny staring in at us. We offer up the Glitchtrap plushie, revealing the true
That eye is terrifying.
She crushes him and then fades into darkness. Doing so unlocks a trophy named Consequences. The description reads, system threats found, repair complete. So, what was all that? Well, actually it seems pretty explicit. Glitchtrap was the system threat. By crushing him, he's been deleted and the wider AI system's been repaired. We won! Except, is that possible? Didn't I just say that the other ending showed us the start of Ruin? For that game to exist, which we know it does, Glitchtrap has to survive here. So is this secret ending not canon then? Just a cool reveal with no substance? No, actually, I don't believe so. For the first time ever in this franchise's history, I, Matt Pat, believe that both endings are canon. Let me explain.
Oh, wow.
I do think that we're destroying Glitchtrap in the Vanny ending, but I'm not exactly sure it's a system-wide removal. Instead, I suspect that this ending is specifically about Vanessa herself. We've known since the original Help Wanted Wanted that Vanessa, Glitchtrap, and Princess Quest have all been inextricably connected. For those of you who don't remember, the Princess Quest minigame originated back in the 2D version of Help Wanted, where they needed a game to replace the original mechanic of piecing together the missing 16 tapes from Tape Girl. Here, we watch as Vanessa, the princess, falls victim to Glitchtrap. In Security Breach, you beat Princess Quest 3, which shows Glitchtrap being defeated and Vanessa walking out of the Pizzaplex freed, leaving the Vanny mask behind. So the fact that we're now playing Princess Quest again tells me that we're not fighting to remove Glitchtrap from the Pizzaplex system. Instead, we're yet again fighting specifically to free Vanessa. These games have always been about Vanessa and Glitchtrap. I wouldn't expect 4 to deviate from that pattern. Even my old buddy Candy Cadet's trying to tell us that this game is about finishing Vanessa's story. Throughout Help Wanted 2, you collect coins that can then be traded to Candy Cadet for pieces of a story. His second one tells about a young woman that's been lured in by a friendly voice, only for it to have been a witch that tries to eat her.
Now let me tell you a story about a young woman who, when she was little, was led into a dark forest by a witch.
I should probably experiment next FNAF game so I can hear all this stuff.
Scarred in the process. When she's older,
not be
she
surprised.
and is met by a young boy who offers to help.
When she had grown, she sought revenge on the witch and entered the forest again willingly. She was greeted at the mouth of the forest by a young boy who offered to help guide her through the darkness. She welcomed the help and followed the young boy over the river, through the jagged trees, and toward a small house. She followed the boy into the house. The oven door closed. The witch would finally have her meal.
This right here, this is Vanessa's story. Cut and dry. She was lured in by what she thought was a friendly voice, Tape Girl, telling her to gather the tapes to stop Glitchtrap, only for Glitchtrap to then take control. She does escape, but is permanently scarred by this. She has the Glitchtrap virus inside of her. It's not in full control, but it's definitely there, which is what we hear about in the emails from FNAF AR.
Yeah, she was researching shit.
I compartmentalized him. He's locked away.
She had compartmentalized him. He wasn't in full control, at least not yet. She then comes back to try to kill Glitchtrap herself, but runs into a young boy, who seems like he's gonna help her, only to lure her deeper under Glitchtrap's control. By the time she transfers to the Pizzaplex, Vanessa's tone has changed in her therapy tapes.
I'm needed somewhere else now. Thank you.
We see the same thing in the FNAF AR emails. She's no longer in control. Glitchtrap has completely taken over, and it's all thanks to the only little boy that we know of, Gregory. Thanks to his retro CDs, we know that he was meeting a person in a bunny costume.
You're talking to someone. Or something. It's hard to tell. What are those things? They almost look like rabbit ears.
Gregory is a villain. At the very least, he was at some point in the story. That is clear as day. Between this Candy Cadet story, GGY, and the fact that he was clearly working with Vanny before the events of Security Breach, he is not on our side. He was the one that helped Glitchtrap.
Bro threw us down an elevator too.
Right up until the end of Security Breach. Even cut lines of dialogue from Help Wanted 2 seem to support our conclusion here. These voice lines come directly from Vanessa, and they tell us the following. Quote, "You need to listen to me carefully. Don't help it escape. It's using you to finish where she left off. Only a small piece of his code remains." Vanessa is back to being more in control, but she knows that a small part of him remains. The Glitchtrap plushie that started it all back in Help Wanted. We also get lines like, "The memories are freed. Use the token. Bring him to me." Referencing the memory plushies that we're collecting, the glitched Princess Quest token, and then being told to bring the plushie to her so that she can crush it herself once and for all. Destroying Glitchtrap inside of her mind allows that other persona, Vanny, to finally fade into darkness. Vanessa is truly free. And we know this to be true because after this ending, when you go back to the main hub screen, Helpy's gone, replaced by a boy claiming that the Fazbear pizza tastes like real cheese. Delicious for him, but even tastier is the fact that Helpy's been purged. Glitchtrap is gone. At least he's gone.
I didn't even know that happens.
Of the program. And you see, this is what I meant about endings and beginnings. This to me feels like a very specific end. The end of Vanessa's story. And with it, the end of this current era of FNAF. From Help Wanted 1
and the end of Yellow Bunnies appearing out of nowhere, glitch or in real life. Oh my god.
Her over. We saved her completely. But in closing out her story, the cycle also repeats. Yet again, we have ourselves an innocent girl, this time named Cassie, being lured in by a seemingly friendly voice, Gregory. But in reality,
we gotta destroy that mimic now.
Occipital implant, she now has Helpy as a part of her mind, just like Vanessa did with Glitchtrap. And now she's wearing the mask more and more frequently, again like Vanny. In short, it's been passed on. Cassie is just Vanessa 2.0. Gone is the era of Vanessa and Glitchtrap. Long live Cassie.
So which child is positive now?
At this point, the only question is, what's it truly gonna take to break this cycle once and for all? But hey, I'm gonna continue digging for deeper
Henry coming out of the darkness as
a... chip?
I think what ends this cycle is... What the hell is that? Oh, I've seen that.
And chef box. Great, just what I always wanted.
I wanted to make sure you guys had a chance to win some prizes of your very own.
Alright, that's the end of the video. Nah, what's definitely gonna break this cycle is a suit-covered ash monster dust cloud with Henry's head inside of it, saying, okay, so this is where Afton stores up the rest of his robots. This is where I buried Afton. Go take this pipe bomb and blow up his grave so he can't come out through consciousness, glitch, or ghost. Destroy all the robots and remnant Afton had in this factory with this pipe bomb. Like, we just need something to exterminate everything in the past, bro. Seriously. Because then the cycle is just going to restart through the lore. And then we need some brave soul to go inside of that basement, maybe Cassie, to get a pipe bomb from Gregory and just throw it at the mimic, so then that animatronic is dead. And then there's no AI program, there's no ghosts, there's no shit restarting the lore. I think Five Nights at Freddy's has finally driven me insane. If you guys want more game theory FNAF or FNAF in general, make sure you guys hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe for more to become a Kister today, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.